Welcome, everybody, once again to the Jerkmonger Show. I am your host, the Jerkmonger. What's up, y'all? This is another video of me doing a sketch in Autodesk Sketchbook of a pirate. I was actually doing this also in church. This might be considered a divine doodle, but it's a basically just me goofing around, messing around with shapes and building a face, a structure. And sometimes I like to leave what I would consider a flaw. When I started this out, I didn't think I was going to draw this guy with an extended long face. And well, as I started to kind of mess with it, I said, well, let me just keep what it is and see if I can make it into something else. Let me just use the shape of the head to go ahead and create something, well, hopefully special. So basically, what we got here is I'm working out the details of a face, and the guy's definitely got a long chin. But as I continued to look at it, I kept thinking, man, this guy could be something pretty cool. He's got the almost has like a criminal look or a gangster look, and then it occurs to me about a couple of minutes. I'll start thinking about, hey, wait a minute, kind of looks like one of those pirates from Pirates of the Caribbean or something that you might see at Disney World or Disneyland. So I just started to kind of continue to build on that and keep creating something that I thought was cool. I gave him the traditional, my regular frown and that kind of stuff that I typically do to these characters to make them look more intense and give them a little bit more personality. Otherwise, they look like they're dead, like they're just kind of like just generic faces. When you want to give them something a little bit special, go ahead and give them a little bit of a frown, give them a little more character in the eyes. I'm also going into the cheekbone area, and you can see I'm tweaking and adding bits and pieces and pits to the eyes to make the eyes sink further into the sockets. I'm starting to add a little bit of like these irises and pupils to kind of help give at least the illusion that he's looking at something versus just kind of generic Statue of David type eyes type things, which I'm not opposed to that, by the way. When I was a younger kid, when I was coming up drawing, I would always draw these guys like they were kind of dead, like they were just, pupilless, eyeless, almost like the way I draw Batman. But I find that as I continue to want to give my characters personality, sometimes it's better just to give them, something a little more relatable. I think some of that also happened in the 90s. There was a lot of characters that were just roaming around with white eyes, and they looked cool for the time, but long term it was like, So I like to give my characters eyes. Sometimes I've been criticized before about making them too light, and so I do kind of tend to make them light, thinking that I might fill them with a color later, as far as the iris is concerned. But so I just adjusted the ear because I figured that the ear looked a little low, like it was down towards where the bottom of the eye, which really it should be kind of, the top of the ear should kind of line up with the eyebrows to a point or another. So I decided to go ahead and give that little more attention, and now I'm coming in with some more detail, basically filling out like shading as I'm going along. Now here's the thing. You see I'm adding a little more darkness around the eyelids. It almost looks like he has a little bit of mascara, which makes me think of pirates. So when I start to kind of figure out what his head was going to look like, and I was adding these things, it almost looked like a bruiser or like a street criminal or like an old school thug from the old gangster comics and gangster movies and stuff like that. So that's what kind of provoked the concept in my head that maybe I just make him a pirate. I was going to try to figure out a hairstyle for him too, but then I thought, I might just cover his head. And if I did that, what would that look like? So anyway, you're going to see here as I'm doing that, it looks like he's got like a little bit of a skull cap, almost like he put on one of those wig things, like like a bald cap. But I knew that I wanted it to be stuck to the head and rising high on his forehead, almost as though he might have been, his hairline might be receding, but just enough to give him a little tuft of hair in the back, and the tied bandana around his head. And as I continue to move forward, I'm going to add a little more detail to this guy's bandana to give it a little more, flair. A couple of extra hooks and pieces that I'll show in a minute. Yeah, pretty much it's going pretty good. The bandana there thing there is again, it's floppy, whatever. It's just meant to take the place of whatever should be there. But you can always adjust it if you want to make it look more realistic. You can always go with more reference and such. And you can see now that I'm starting to shade the skin on the bottom of his face, basically giving the illusion that he's got hair or that he's got like a 5 o'clock shadow. But then I decided, you know what, let's go for the gusto. Let's give him some real whiskers. Let's make it look like he may have shaved at some point, but he's just kind of scraggly right now. And the more I added to it, the more he started to come alive to me. It became less of just a loose drawing and became more of just like a fun character that could have been in a pirate movie or like I said, an old, like it's something from the Phantom or the Shadow, something like that. Those old school characters from those days. So pretty cool. I had a lot of fun in this. Definitely excited about continuing to try more of these things where I can do quick sketches and videos of those sketches and provide those here on YouTube. And you guys can comment if you like and see what you think. And, if you like more of this stuff, let me know. If you have some specific ideas, comment in the chat, or rather in the comment section. I do read them, and just kind of want to get better idea about some of the content you guys might want to see. But so far, I'm enjoying this. So if this is cool with you guys, I'm gonna keep going until you guys say no, 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 too sexy, too sexy. By the way, I love adding scars to people. This is one of the things I'm doing here. I decided to kind of give a little shading to the upper lip of that scar, so it looked like it's a little more of a gash. I thought that was important. I'm not sure where I'm at here. I think I'm gonna start adding some other extra. Oh yeah, I'm definitely curling up the lips there. I'm giving him some more pizzazz. You're gonna see here probably is about where I'm gonna start adding some white throughout here. I'll be cutting into the shaded areas to kind of create the illusion of scars without actually drawing them. And that was an important thing I thought was a difference between this and other things I've done. I actually added some features to it that were make almost like if I was really working in pencil, I would have probably used an eraser to kind of carve out the white shape. See what I just did there? I gave him almost like he has a scar in his eyebrow. This guy's a bad guy. He's been around the block. He's been on the 7 Seas, and I'm probably gonna do it right here on the chin too. You're probably gonna see me do the same thing with white. Oh yeah, see I'm darkening in that area. So the more values I add to this, the more lifelike, the more three-dimensional it appears. So that was a fun little way to kind of create that there. I'm creating more contrast. Contrast creates more depth. The more depth you have, the more 3 dimensions you have. So there you go. I went and added those little white lines on the chin, almost as though he can't grow hair in those areas, because that might be maybe some kind of scar he had when he was a kid, or maybe he got cut in the face with some glass or something like that. So these are all ways you can kind of adjust and add to the general flavor of your character design. You can see there in the bandana, I put those little flippy pieces that helps to kind of give it more than just a round shape. It's not just sitting on his head. It's actually there. I'm also adding some character to that bandana by putting in little cuts and little breaks along the edge to give it the look like it's been worn and it's an old rag on his head. The hair is supposed to be scraggly at the base of his neck, almost like a weird bad mullet. It's intended to be that way. I'm definitely carving out, making sure I've got the ears squared away. I mean, I really took some love into this piece. I actually had a good time drawing it while I was listening to the sermon. It was very therapeutic, and it was a lot of fun. Anyway, I thank you guys for checking me out this time. Thanks for watching this video. You guys are awesome, man. I had a great time hanging out with Doug and Ethan and the rest, and to celebrate his recent success with Bigfoot Bill. I hope you guys will continue to keep your eyes peeled for the next project I'll be working on with Doug TenNapel. I can't announce it yet, but I'll be announcing that very, very soon. I also want to thank you guys for just supporting me in general and giving me some all the love and support that I've gotten from you guys. You guys really are amazing, and I'm really proud to have you guys as my fans. And I'm excited to present to you guys more stuff in the future that I think you're going to enjoy. So, anyway, in the meantime, continue to pay attention to the links in the description. I will be putting some more stuff there in the future. Until next time, see ya.